Hey guys, happy Friday to everyone, and welcome to another episode of Day in the Life of Vintage Classic Specialist. So, kind of a quiet day in the shop here. Pretty much had the shop to myself. My painter was here doing his thing in our other little building over there, and then upholstery guy was doing his thing, upholstery. And actually, he's almost done with the seats for the car that we call the tennis ball, which is the bright yellow 74. So on that note, let's talk about these. So my painter actually painted the body yesterday, so the rolling body, which is devoid of doors, fenders, lids, etc. Painted that yesterday. I'll show that to you guys pretty soon. It's in our other building right now. But then today, today he painted the fenders, as you can see here. And I think I know in fact he did the doors. I don't think he's done the front or rear lids yet. But anyway, guys, let me get some more light here. Look at this color. I don't think that the video is going to do this color any justice, especially when you see it out in the sun. I mean, this color is just unbelievable. It's kind of like a highlighter pen and a tennis ball had a baby. Maybe tennis ball is just maybe not even bright enough for this color. It looks amazing. Come out so good. And again, we took an original unpainted part off the car and used that for a color match. And they seem like they nailed it. This, as far as I can tell, is a very good match to the original color. These cars were literally this bright. Crazy to think about. And then again, if you're new to the channel, this is a 74 standard Beetle. It's a love bug edition that came in two colors. This color, and the name of it is escaping me at the moment. And then there was another kind of like red-orange color. One of the unique things about those cars, other than I think those two colors were only available on the love bug, is that all the trim on the cars, so the bumpers, the side molding, the headlight surrounds, etc., were all black. And then they had what today we call cowlick rubber, so no trim in the windows and so on, so kind of blacked out, but then with this super bright color. So pretty rad combination. Anyway, so this is kind of a sneak peek of how this thing is shaping up here. Painter's doing an amazing job. These fenders really almost look like they don't need any color sanding, but of course we'll do it, and then they'll just look that much more amazing. So let's see. Felt like I did something. Oh, I know what I did on this car. So I did try the Porsche steering wheel that we have, and unfortunately, the spline is bigger on that wheel than on this one. So searched around and found a wheel that looks a lot like what's on there now, and went ahead and ordered that. And then I had to get a new adapter because this adapter is kind of a weird, fairly uncommon size. It fits Nardi wheels, and I couldn't really find a Nardi wheel that I liked, or a Nardi style wheel that I liked. So anyway, so hopefully that wheel and adapter will be here probably like early next week. And hopefully the wheel adapters to push these wheels out where they belong will also be here next week. So hopefully it'll be a big week for this car here as far as its looks are concerned. This car had a pretty big day though, and as you can see here, it got a super injection of 80s goodness. So the owner did want the louvered stainless steel firewall, and he got it. So I went and picked this up today from my pal AJ over at Low Bucket. He was kind enough to get it for me from MP and installed it. And let me tell you guys, it took all afternoon to get this thing in. It was a pain in the ass. We put in the stock ones all the time, which are that kind of like tarboard stuff. And I mean, I can get one of those things in like no time, but this thing, holy crap. I mean, it's metal, and so it's very stiff. It's much harder than the tarboard ones to kind of flex and get in there, because the cover itself, it's a lot bigger than the opening here. So you have to like kind of bow it pretty hard to get it in there. Or actually, so what I normally do is I kind of get one side in with the thing in a bow, and then kind of get the second side, bow it to get the second side in. At least that's what I did on this one. With stock ones, I pretty much just formed the whole thing into a big bow and then get it past the opening there and then advance it and shove it up in there and stuff like that. But yeah, with this one, it seemed to work better to kind of get one side in and then have the thing in a big bow and then kind of like make that bow tighter and tighter until this side could pop in. But yeah, it took, God, I did not enjoy that process, but you know, not everything gets to be fun. But now it's in and it looks cool. And when the motor's in with all its chrome on it, this thing is just going to scream 80s. Fully chromed out motor with a painted engine case. You can see it over there. And dual carbs and stuff like that. So yeah, this thing is going to be a serious throwback to the 80s here. This metallic green paint job and stuff like that. So very cool. But pain in the butt, but this is what he wanted, and I don't think he's gonna have any regrets because he is going for the 80s look, and that's what he's getting. Another thing is my upholstery guy actually took the first seat, and I don't think he got too far with it, but I think he started kind of disassembling it, figuring out how to get it apart. These seats are much more complicated, obviously, than standard VW seats because they've got a bunch of motors in them, and there's no way, as far as I can tell, to even manually adjust anything on these seats. They're 100% electric. I don't even know how these things come apart as far as like removing the backrest from the base of the seat. But he'll figure it out. I mean, he's done plenty of modern car seats before as far as reupholstering them. So, and he's a bright guy, so he'll figure it out. But yeah, so he started kind of tearing down the first one. The vinyl, which I picked up yesterday, which again is a good match to this color, which is charcoal. I took 2 yards of it today, which is what my upholstery guy said is enough for the centers, and I'm having that perforated. So the centers will be perforated, and then the outers will be solid. So one of my cars is like that, and it makes an incredible difference as far as the breathability of the seats versus just, you know, big sheets of vinyl with no holes in them. So yeah, took that couple yards over to our friends at Global Upholstery Supply, and I think they said they'd probably get it back Monday. So that timing will probably be pretty good as far as my upholstery guy being, you know, about ready to maybe start making some pieces here. The other thing I did today on this one is related to the brakes and the pedal assembly. So here's this pedal assembly. Went ahead and pulled it out, and I hadn't even noticed before. I guess I just hadn't really looked at it that close. It's all chromed out, and it looks pretty nice. It was filthy, though. It was super disgusting. So this thing must have been chromed a long time ago, and then obviously the car had some miles on it since this was all chromed out because it was all dirty and gross. So spent some time cleaning that up. And then they had the wrong pedal stop in there, which is why the pedals were sitting like really far back. And wouldn't have had much travel and just wouldn't have felt right and stuff. And then he had some kind of weird push rod on there that I don't think is Volkswagen. I don't know what that's off, but yeah, so I'm getting the correct push rod for it, getting the correct pedal stop for it and stuff like that. And then he didn't have the right pin that holds the push rod in. He basically had a bolt shoved in there with a seat clip on it. Just super weird stuff. The guy that built this car, so not my customer. And then I did also start tackling this mess here. If you guys watch the channel routinely, you know this thing had some super cheesy stuff going on here. The master cylinder was literally sitting like way up here, the reservoir was sitting way up here and connected to the cylinder with tubes with hose clamps on them, and then the reservoir was like safety wired to some fuel line to keep it from flopping around. I mean, it was all kind of cheesy. So drained the fluid out of the reservoir and pulled it off and checked, and it looks like it just is going to take one of those reservoirs that go on top of a dual circuit cylinder. So I've got one of those on order again from excuse me guys, from AJ over at Low Bucket. He's supposed to maybe get that for me on Monday. And so I hope it's just going to be a matter of like plugging that reservoir into the top of this. And then hopefully once we do that and go through and bleed the brakes, then the brakes will be done. And of course, also a matter of getting the pedals set up correctly and stuff in here so that the pedal travel is correct. The other thing that I ordered for it is a Bowden tube. This car had no Bowden tube on it, which means it would have been fairly impossible to take off smooth in it because they shudder pretty bad if there's no Bowden tube, or there is a Bowden tube that's adjusted poorly, and by that I mean it's like a straight line instead of having some sag adjusted into it. And yeah, I don't know, there's all kinds of like weird washers and stuff on the clutch cable at the end where the big wing nut goes. I don't know, there's some really weird stuff done on this car. Again, I think the shop that built it isn't, well, I know they're not a VW shop, and they did some super weird stuff on here. So I'm just kind of going around the car correcting stuff, some of which are safety issues and the other are just plain cheesy. So yeah, trying to make this car nice and safe and bitching for this customer. Let's see, I think I'm sorry guys. I think that is it for today. So I will see you guys again tomorrow. I'll be in Saturday for part of a day, do a short episode. So thanks for watching. See you soon. Bye.